Hello everyone, welcome to PRP Coding YouTube channel. I am Praveen Ravindran Pillai. In this session, I shall explain what is encapsulation in Java. So let's start. Encapsulation in Java is a fundamental concept of object-oriented programming that binds together the data and the methods that manipulate that data. It's a way to hide the implementation details of an object from the outside world and only expose the necessary information. Confused? No worries. I shall explain everything via code. For that, let me flip to VS Code. I have created a class employee with a property named salary, which is of type double. Now, I want to access this employee salary and assign a value in the main method. Is that possible? Absolutely. For that, we need to instantiate the employee class. So I can say employee is equal to new employee. This will go and allocate memory for the employee class. I have explained about memory allocation in stack and heap in part 1 of object-oriented programming. I highly recommend to watch that video. The link is shared in the description below. So, this employee is the reference variable. By using this reference variable, we can access the salary field and assign a value. So here I can say employee dot salary, and let me assign a salary of 50,000. Okay. Now let me print this in the console. For that I will say system dot out dot println. I will say employee dot salary. Okay. Now let me go and run this application. In the terminal window, run the command javac main.java and java main. And here you can see that the salary 50,000 is printed in the console and everything is working fine as expected. Now, let me assign the salary as minus 50,000. Is that possible in Java? Absolutely. Double data types can hold negative values. As per the Java rules, this is a valid code. But if we think logically, is it possible to assign a negative salary to an employee in real world? No, right? But why we are able to assign any value to this salary property? That is because the salary property is accessible outside of the employee class. See, here you can see that the salary is a part of this employee class, but we are able to access it by using the reference variable. So the first thing is we need to restrict that access to the outside world. How can we do that? For that, we can make the salary property as private. So I will say private. So private is a reserved keyword in Java. So what do you mean by private? Private means it is accessible only within the class. So only within the class. Okay. Outside the class, it is not accessible. See, if you look at the main, immediately we got an error. So if I hover, it says that the field employee.salary is not visible. That makes sense, right? Okay, so the restriction part is done. But there is a problem. How to assign a value to the employee salary from the main method? It is private, right? For that, we can create a method in the employee class. So here, I can create a method. We'll say void set salary, which takes a parameter amount of type double, and here I can say salary equal to amount. Okay, so now what I can do is, let me remove this, and I can say employee dot set salary 50,000. See, so what will happen is this function is getting invoked and the value 50,000 is assigned to this amount variable, and the value in the amount variable is assigned to the private field salary. Okay, so the salary assignment part is done. By using the set salary method, we are able to assign a value to the private field salary in the employee class. Now we want to print the salary in the main method. I mean, we want to print the salary in the console window. For that, again, we can create a method in the employee class. See, we know that the private field is a double type. So I can create a method double get salary. Okay. And I will say return salary. Salary. Okay. So now here, instead of accessing the salary property, I will say employee dot get salary. Okay. So this will go and invoke this particular method, and whatever is the value inside the private field salary, that will be returned. Now let me go and run this application. In the terminal window, run the command java c main.java and run the command java main. And here you can see the output as 50,000. So everything is working as expected. The methods which are used to assign and read values of private members of a class are called as setters and getters in Java. Now, one question that may come to developers' mind is that, is it mandatory to name the setter and getter functions like set salary and get salary? It is not at all mandatory. As we all know that the method naming is in the hands of developer. So we can give any name. But it is always a good practice to give meaningful names to methods. See, if you look here, set salary. By looking at this, we can see that, okay, this is used for setting the salary. Get salary. It says that get the salary, read the salary, okay, and so on. Now, even after using setter function, we can assign negative salary, right? So here, if I pass minus 50,000, it's accepting. But logically, it is not correct, right? Then what is the point in creating a setter function then? Let me explain that. Since this is a method, we as developers have the control over it. We can write any logic inside this function. So here I can write a logic to handle negative salary. See, for example, I can say if amount is less than 0, okay, I will say invalid salary, else. So based on the business requirement, we can write any logic. See, for example, if you want to throw an exception, yes, you can do that. Whatever logic you want, you can do it inside a setter function. Okay, so now I would like to explain one more thing with respect to encapsulation. Consider a situation like this. The set salary method is having a parameter named salary. The class data member is also named as salary. Now let me assign salary equal to salary. In the main method, I have invoked the set salary method and I have passed 50,000 as the value. Now let me go and run this application. In the terminal window, run the command java c main.java and java main. Here you can see that the output is 0.0. We passed the value as 50,000. So what's wrong? Let me explain that. If you look at this function, here you can see a yellow line below the salary. Now, if I hover, you can see that the assignment to variable salary has no effect. So, when the data member name and the function parameter name is the same, the compiler is in a confused state. It says that I don't know what to do. The intention of the developer is to assign the private member field salary with this parameter salary. Okay. Since the compiler is in a confused state, what it will do is it will simply ignore this. It will simply ignore assigning the value of this salary to the data member salary. So this code will be equivalent to this. Okay. So now when you are passing 50,000 here, the 50,000 will come over here. Okay. Now the local variable salary is equal to 50,000. That is fine. Now, what is the scope of this variable? Within this method, right? But we are getting the output as 0.0. That is because the default value of double is 0.0. But scenarios like this needs to be handled, right? For that, we use the this keyword in Java. So here I can type this dot. The moment I typed this dot, I am able to see the class data member salary. Okay, so I can say this dot salary is equal to salary. Now, the moment I used this dot, the compiler understood that, okay, this dot salary is the class data member salary and it is not the parameter salary. Okay, so now this dot salary is equal to salary. Now there is no yellow line under this dot salary. Okay, previously we had that without using the this keyword. Okay, so now what exactly is this? What do you mean by this keyword actually? This refers to the current instance of employee. In another way, I can say that this is equal to the caller of the method who invoked this method. In this case, if you look at line number 20 here you can see that the set salary is invoked by the employee reference variable. So, in another way, we can say that this is equal to the employee reference. So let me explain this with the help of memory map. Initially, the Java virtual machine invokes the main method. So in the stack memory, the main method stack is created. Then the control goes to employee is equal to new employee. So memory for the class employee will be allocated in the heap. Here I have given a random memory address as 0x110. This class is having one data member named salary. Since the salary is of double data type, the default value of 0.0 is assigned. Now, the employee reference variable is created in the main stack memory. In the main stack trace. And this employee reference variable is pointing to 0x110. Fine. Now, the next statement is employee.set salary, and there we are passing 50,000. So the set salary stack trace is created in the stack memory. In this method, we are assigning this dot salary is equal to 50,000. As I mentioned, this means who invoked the set salary method. Here, the employee reference variable has invoked set salary method. So this is same as the employee reference. That means this and employee reference variable is pointing to the same memory location 0x110, and when we assign the value 50,000 in the heap memory, the salary is changed to 50,000. Now when the control comes to employee.getSalary, it returns the current value of salary in the heap. Right now the current value is 50,000, so the output will be 50,000. So the main goals of encapsulation are data hiding. It means hide the internal details of an object from the outside world. Then code organization. Organize the code in a way that makes it easier to understand and maintain. And finally, improved security. Protect the data from external interference and misuse. Now, let's see the best practices that you can follow in order to achieve encapsulation. Declare variables as private. Use the private access modifier to restrict access to variables. Provide public methods. Offer public methods to access and modify the private variables. And finally, use getters and setters. Implement getter and setter methods to control access to private variables. So this is all about encapsulation in Java. If you find this video helpful, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned for the next updates. Thank you.